I did my list of 2025, what's in and what's out, and I had on my list of what's out the words private equity, and a few people commented that I did not elaborate on what I meant by that. So the reason why I think there's going to be a shift in how private equity companies work, or maybe a new concept for private equity, is because of actually some things that have been happening astrologically speaking. We're leaving, or we left in 2024, a time where Pluto was in Capricorn for 40 years. And Capricorn is a planet that is really about like the CEO. It's about individuals and finding their individual authority, which is why private equity companies, the people with money, have been able to go in and buy all of these businesses, whether they're consumer brands, whether they're medical practices, whether they're communities with real estate, and really take ownership of those things without a lot of responsibility to uphold the value that they brought to people. A lot of people complain that private equity companies, they cut corners, they cut costs, and when it comes to like medical services and things like that, you really can't afford to do that and still take care of people. So there's been a lot of frustration with how private equity companies operate, a lot of frustration with CEOs. I think we saw those themes really coming to a head at the end of last year. Now Pluto is entering into Aquarius and is going to be in Aquarius for a while, and Aquarius is a sign that is really more about revolutionizing things, and it's all about community. And I think that's why we started to see Web3 and the conversations around Web3 and what that means for consumers, what that means for businesses, what it means for making money going forward, because Web3 was all about this idea that if you were buying products from a brand, you're part owner of that brand. I'm not going to get into Web3 too much because there's so many parts of it that I don't understand, but the bottom line is that I think going forward for the next several years, there's going to be new ways of investing in brands. We're already seeing that. Sometimes I get an email from a CEO of a company saying, instead of going to private equity, instead of raising money from investors, we're raising from our community, and who wants to own part of this business? So whether it's a new concept for private equity or just new platforms, new ideas, new ways of companies going out and raising funds and considering the value of the community, considering the community to be part owners, I think there's going to be some concepts and some changes that are happening on that front. And I know it's something that people really want to see. It's just something that I think now is the time for that to happen. I don't know, I'm just using my instincts and my cursory knowledge of astrology and the things that I read and kind of absorb on this platform to make some of my predictions. Would love to know what you think.